What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily, and we had two great clutches this past weekend, and I'm super happy about that. And we're going to take a look at those clutches, and one of the clutches involves the rainbow gene. And as you guys know, I've been working with that for a number of years now. I've created a combination that I call the ultraviolet, which is the hypo, enchi, super hurricane, which is also known as the Hayabusa, rainbow. And rainbow is kind of like a T negative, T positive albino-ish looking snake. It's very different than anything else out there. And it works really, really well with dark, seems to work really well, at least in my opinion, with dark genes like hurricane and super hurricane. And hypo seems to clean it up, enchi cleans it up. And that combination of the ultraviolet is just amazing. I produced some more visuals this past year. I've actually sold most of them. I think I have one more left. I have some really nice 100% hets too, still available. I've done other videos on those, and I think that's where a lot of them were sold through. I don't usually list those visuals. They usually get sold on their own. People contact me, and that's fine if anyone's interested. But we just had a clutch. I'm going to show you this time around, and we could potentially be producing another ultraviolet, assuming the female does prove out to be hurricane, which I have not proven her out yet. So hopefully this will be the first time and we'll get a chance to look at that. I wanted to talk to you about the hurricane gene because, I was talking to Brock Wagner at the Daytona Reptile Show, and he was saying that he had a lot of bad luck with rainbows, and there was a lot of, he was having some defects with them, and they just were not breeding well, or they were breeding, but they were just producing a lot of defective looking babies. And, he's asked me, have I ever had any? And I said, no. As a matter of fact, I've never had one defect from anything that was het rainbow or visual rainbow. And I think one of the reasons him and I kind of figured this out was that when I produced my first hets and bred my visual rainbow that I had bought originally from the original person who started the whole project, I bred them to a bunch of different females. So it was kind of outcrossed because I wanted to make combinations, especially with hurricane. The male eventually died on me after that first breeding season, so I never got to really use them again. So everything that I produced, rainbow-wise, which took me a lot longer, obviously, were from the hets. And so everything was completely outcrossed. And I think that was a huge, it was a horrible thing that happened that I lost the male, but it was actually the best thing that happened to me because everything I had is outcrossed. So there's nothing that's really inbred, and I just don't see any defects in anything. Everything looks perfect when it comes out. So sometimes, and that's why I always tell you, you always have to, things happen for a reason. Sometimes you have to find the positive in the negative, and I guess, it turned out that I did the right thing. So yeah, I have very, very healthy rainbow stock, and that happens. Look, with granite pythons, with granite gene in carpet pythons, when they first came out, they were missing eyes. They were horrible, and everyone thought the gene was maybe defective, and then people started outcrossing it. And then what they found was that, whoa, it's not the gene, it was just that it was too inbred. So, because when you inbreed, which means you breed sister to brother, brother to mother, father to sister, father to daughter, that's great to get your genes moving. But if you have a gene that's already got other maybe issues with it that are associated with it, and then you keep inbreeding it, you're going to bring out more of those bad traits, and so deleterious traits. And so a lot of times you have to outcross. So it's good to outcross anyway, but we're very impatient people. I was forced to outcross because I lost my male, which was a horrible thing because I spent a lot of money on him. But once again, now what I have I'm producing is really good stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to give you that little backstory on the rainbow gene if anyone was wondering. There is some people have had bad luck with it, and once again, I think it's because everyone's breeding it right back to the sisters and brothers, and because everyone wants to make visual rainbows right off the bat, and it didn't work out. And like I said, I kind of got lucky in a sense. All right, after that big long diatribe I gave you, let's go in and take a look at some of these clutches. All right, a little update on the fish tank for you fish tank fans. Just do a little feeding, some pellets. I got my beautiful blue-faced samurai eating. I got my angels eating. Plants seem to be coming back. I went and bought some plant tabs, which are little fertilizer tabs. Kind of stick them in the sand and kind of feeds the plants a little bit. Because they were kind of like dying off a little bit. I don't know if it was what was going on, but Anyway, everything's looking good in the tank. These angels are huge. Hopefully these angelfish will start breeding. Although I don't know, I don't have any tanks to really start removing babies and everything like that. So I may have to put them in the Mata turtle tank if they have babies. I don't know. That would be expensive Mata food. It would be like sushi for them. That's my favorite one right there. My pied. I call it my pied. Beautiful clown loach down there. Everyone's enjoying their Saturday here. All right, that's what we love to see. We love to see eggs. And those are some big, big eggs. Don't those things look huge? I haven't even peeked yet at what's going on there. This girl I produced a number of years ago. She's a leopard champagne blade het clown. She was only one egg that survived, and she was really cool. I thought, hey, this is really something I want to try to get into clown, because I figured that, you know, obviously I wanted to make champagne clowns, and I've made them before. Champagne clowns, however, don't look quite so good unless you have some stuff added to it. Pattern mutations are great, like leopard, blade. So I bred her to, however, this was the controversial thing. We really didn't know. Pablo and I were sitting around, we were trying to say, what should we breed this girl to? You know, to try to get more pattern into this champagne, especially when it turns into a clown, because clown reduces pattern, as we know. And what I said was, man, if I can get red stripe into here, I think that would do it. So I've seen Justin made some red stripe champagne clown stuff, and he seems to think that that adds pattern. So I'm figuring with leopard and red stripe, we can do it. So I bred her to a pastel red stripe het clown, het pied. So the pied is kind of like a throwaway, you know, unless we can see some pied markers, but we bred het clown to het clown. So obviously the odds are not going to be tremendous at hitting a visual clown, but we might actually do it. So even if we hit one champagne, maybe red stripe clown in this clutch, like I said, I don't know how many eggs she's got there. I see two humongous ones on top here, but once we move her a little bit, I think we'll be able to see a little better as to what she's got. Champagne, all my champagnes are a little, oh, that's not too bad. So we got 5 eggs there, 5 big eggs too. All right, I'm happy. Let's clean her up, get her out, and those eggs are huge. Oh my God. You're gonna see when I put them in the hatch trays how big they are. These things are, I have big hands, I would say. These things are big, big, big eggs. Crazy looking big eggs. All right, good job, Mama. Don't bite me. She did a good job. She did a very good job. I'm very happy. And anytime I see eggs, I'm happy. All right, she's all cleaned up. I washed her off, got all that egg smell off her. And it's gonna rain here. She's got some nice, you know, that leopard really kept some nice pattern in the champagne here. And I think she's blade, because she looks very reduced here. Now you can see, you were able to see it a lot more when she was a baby. That's why, and I think I bled her. She was bred to a super blade, so she's definitely blade, definitely leopard. You know, you can see it when she was younger. Whoa, you hear those? You hear that thunder? It's gonna rain here. Anyway, she did great. I'm very happy. It's a little late in the season, but we got a nice clutch of eggs from her, so I'm super psyched. All right, there's my little boy who did the great job. That's a pastel red stripe het clown and het pied. So het pied clown. You can see the little stripe on the tail. That's the red stripe there. Pastel kind of unwinds a little bit of that red stripe gene, but I'm interested to see what this is going to produce. You know, the odds are pretty high. You know, whenever you're breeding het to het, and then of course everything's going to be 50% het pied. It's going to be hard to tell. We'll see. I'm hoping we can produce some cool stuff. Even if we don't hit the clown or the pied, I think red stripe leopard champagnes are going to look really nice. So that's the goal here. So we took all the eggs out. I canneled them. The vessels are really good and strong. Like I said, they're really big eggs. You can see how big they are compared to this marker. These are ginormous eggs. Hopefully we get some nice ginormous. Maybe we have a few twins in there. You never know. That can increase our odds right there. So we have 5 good eggs. I'm a happy man. And And our second clutch of the day, of the weekend, I should say. What a lucky one that one was. I've been waiting for this one for a while, actually. I didn't even know if she was going to go, to be honest with you, but it looks like she went. Now this is going to be an interesting one because this girl is a pastel Enchi hypo, possible hurricane. She looks hurricane-ish to me. I really hope she proves out. But there's no, pastel kind of unwinds hurricane a lot, but I see some hurricane swirly stuff going on there. So this could be hurricane. This is the first time she's breeding for me, so I'm not sure. She's also 100% het rainbow, and we're breeding her to an Enchi hypo het rainbow, or Enchi hypo hurricane het rainbow. So we could produce ultraviolets with this if this girl actually proves to be hurricane. Also, obviously, we're breeding het rainbow to het rainbow, so the odds are going to be a little harder, but we've hit it before, so not with this girl, but I would love to prove out the rainbow. I'd love to prove rainbow. We know it's going to be proved out because it's het to het, but I would love to prove out the hurricane here in this girl. And this girl has pastel, so I have never produced a pastel ultraviolet, so this could be a first, potentially too. So she's doesn't like that I'm intimidating her eggs there. It looks like there's a decent amount of eggs there, which is going to be pretty good. So sometimes when these girls skip a year, I think she skipped, that proves sometimes to be a good thing because you'll get a bigger clutch the next year. So anyway, really nice looking clutch of eggs we got there, and let's pull it. All right, here's our father. He is the original father of the original ultraviolet that we produced, the Super Hurricane Enchi hypo rainbow, and we've obviously duplicated that this year. We used his son, the actual visuals ultraviolet, on a lot of clutches, but this guy is still beautiful. He's a Hurricane Enchi hypo het rainbow 100%, and he did a great job on this clutch. So he's going to be given a sushi dinner tonight. No, just kidding. McDonald's maybe. Cheat meal. He'll get a cheat meal tonight. We'll give him a nice big fat rat. All right, let's pull this girl. Okay, it looks like we got 6 good eggs, 1 little slugger. I'll take it. These are small eggs though. The last clutch was big eggs. So. All right, let's clean this girl off. All right, we got 6 good eggs here, all good vessels and embryos in there. These are much smaller, these eggs. This looks like almost like a chicken egg, but they'll produce the same ball pythons that the big eggs will produce. So that's all that matters. And this could be a good, this could be a good clutch. I mean, we might hit an ultraviolet here if that female proves out to be Super Hurricane. Even if she doesn't, we might hit an ultraviolet with just a single hurricane. So we might hit, everything's going to be hypo in the clutch because both parents are hypo. They're both Enchi, so we could get Enchi and Super Enchi. Okay, they're both het rainbow, so there's a 25% chance we'll hit a visual rainbow. The female looks to be pastel, so that we can get pastels in here as well. So we have a lot of good potential, in this clutch. Hypo hurricanes alone are really cool. If we can hit rainbow, hypo hurricane, rainbow, Enchi, that's going to be phenomenal. And I'd love to see what pastel does if it really lightens up the rainbow even more. So that's going to be pretty cool in 60 days. For those of you who are maybe new to the channel and haven't really seen what an ultraviolet looked like, I wanted to pull out one of the babies that we produced this year. This little girl is actually going to Europe, to a customer there. She is gorgeous. She's one of the nicest ones I've ever produced. This is Super Hurricane Enchi. Could be possible Super Enchi too. But it's definitely at least 1 copy of Enchi. And this is also got the hypo gene in it, and it's rainbow visual. Look at that. Look at those purples. That Super Hurricane with the rainbow is just spectacular. Look at that orange head. I really think this might be Super Enchi. This one might be the best one I've ever produced. Probably should have kept this one, but that's how it goes. Can't keep everything. This one really is beautiful. This is spectacular. I'm really happy with the way this girl came out, and I know hopefully my customer will be very happy in Europe, and they can get this great combination over there. I'm so happy that I was able to produce this. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. And this week we got a lot more to do here in the snake room. We're still installing lights in all the vision cages still. And my good friend Tom Crutchfield produced some Sanzinia. Oh, they're so nice. And of course he suckered me. He didn't sucker me. He offered me a pair, and they're very, very highly desirable. Madagascar tree boas, and captive bred ones are really hard to come by, and Tom is just an awesome breeder, and he's a very, very dear friend of mine. And he offered me a pair, so I'll be getting a pair of those probably in a couple weeks. So that's going to be exciting. Get some more tree boas. I notice I'm getting a lot of arboreal stuff in my collection. I don't know what I don't know if that means anything. Hopefully I don't become an arboreal guy only. Oh, I got flies attacking me here. Anyway, Tom did, I'll put some pictures up. Tom did an amazing job breeding, and he breeds these guys outside. So, that's pretty hardcore. Tom breeds everything outside pretty much. So I love going to his place. I can't wait to go down there. I would have, unfortunately I have to get another surgery on my foot, but otherwise I would have driven down there and picked them up, but I'll have to have them ship them over to me. But Tom's got great stuff. I love his setup. I love his enclosures he's got there in the outdoors. Eventually I will get some outdoor enclosures down the road. They're in my mind, that's for sure. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video on the 2 clutches that we got. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at a clutch that is hatching in the incubator. It is a really good clown clutch, so stay tuned for that. For now, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.